disrespect and contempt. You know, in the course of the voting at 2 p.m., they issued a statement that the gentleman, so-called national security person, who assaulted a 7 officer in uniform had been interdicted. If you knew you were going to interdict him, why would you wait on the day of the voting, 2 o'clock, before you announce interdiction? In any case, if they were very serious about discipline in the security services, the people who beat up Nankam Bruce, they are there. The people who caused mayhem at Ayawaso West Wagon, when the government's own report stated that they should be dealt with, they are there. If they want us to take them serious, they should take action on those people as well. Then we know that they are not serious. We are not going to be bought by this cheap gimmickry. So, we wish to assure Ghanaians that ballots from the special voting will be counted on December 7th after voting, and no ballots have been counted. And we in the NDC are confident that our men in uniform want His Excellency John Mahama back as their Commander-in-Chief. We wish to sound a note of caution that no one should tamper with the ballot boxes at the respective polling stations. We call on Ghanaians to remain vigilant at police stations where ballot boxes of the special voting are being kept, so that no one will tamper with them. In fact, we encourage you to go and visit the ballots. Once in a while, just go and visit, go and greet the ballots. Just check on it. Our coalition agents will inspect and cross-check to ensure that such ballot boxes have not been tampered with before they are counted on December 7th. We shall reject and order a forensic unit of all such ballots if we see any tampering. Another issue which has exposed the EC in its chicanery is the issue of destruction of hidden ballot papers parceled for Ashanti region. One of the challenges we face with the EC, Jemensa-led EC, is their dishonesty, their inability to be truthful and forthright with Ghanaians and the various stakeholders. Contrary to their oath of office, they have been dishonest to Ghanaians on several occasions, and I can't even begin to talk about them. Now, the recent one is the over 1 million hidden presidential ballot papers meant for Ashanti region that our agents discovered at Inolink Printing Press, one of the 7 printing houses selected by the Electoral Commission to print ballot papers for Ashanti, Upper West, and Western North regions. And our colleague, where is Agbesi? Nuchu. Yeah, Agbesi, and please let them stand. They did a yeoman's job together with Ajisani, and that's the team. They are the special prosecutor, citizen vigilante in charge of ballot boxes. They did a very good job, and they were able to find out what was going on. Now, the standard practice is that after printing of ballot papers, the place and the waste papers are destroyed. You want to show the video? Okay. Under a certificate of disposal, signed by party agents and other stakeholders. This was done, when you're ready, let me know. This was done for Inolink on 20th November 2020. So when we finished the printing, then they destroyed the plates and any other excess waste material is destroyed. And then a certificate is issued. Subsequently, the ballot papers for Ashanti region were dispatched to the region on the 22nd of November 2020. However, on the 25th November, the agents were invited to witness the reprinting of ballot papers to replace defective ballot papers for Efija Kwabre South. So, Sabofra, where's Sabofra? He's not here. Ashanti region, when they took the ballots, you were the people who discovered that there were problems with the Efija Kwabre South. Now, the practice is that you bring it back under escort, it is destroyed, then they reprint. So, it was in the course of the reprint. Should I allow you to watch? Then I'll continue. Right? Oh? Okay, let me finish the narrative, then you can watch. So when they came back to do that, then they found that there were some materials that have been sealed nicely in brown envelopes and on pallets. So they asked, what are these things? They said, the first answer was it belongs to a different client. Have you seen that? It belongs to a different client. So one of them boldly went and opened it and saw that there were ballot papers. They said, what is this doing here? Then first they said, it was an oversight. Well, oversight how? How could you? Because we've signed a certificate to destroy every SS, and we have actually dispatched. Had it not been that there was a problem with the Fija Cabrera, we would never come back to this house. So how come these ones are here? Well kept, well packed. And then the supervisor there said, she kept them because she thought there was going to be a runoff. In case there was going to be a runoff. Complete mess. If there's going to be a runoff, it's going to be between two candidates. In any case, you don't have the authority to determine. So our people raised the alarm, and immediately they started destroying the plates. Our interest was that these materials should not get out to the public, so that's what they do. They get the material, and they'll find ways of getting it into ballots. So you see some regions, very ridiculous figures, you won't understand. Then they'll come and claim that they won by 1 million or whatever numbers. These are some of the ways by which they steal us. So they did that, and then the paper should be shredded. We agreed. They were cut into pieces. And on the 27th November, the media were invited to witness the destruction of the ballot papers. And it was done. Then the EC now comes out, denies the incident. Meanwhile, when the thing happened at the printing house, the EC officer in charge of that printing house, in every printing house there's an EC officer, even claimed that they didn't know about it. So if you didn't know about it and this thing has come out, all you have to do is to confirm the truth. Why then do you now come out and say, no, we were misleading the public and that they were waste ballots? Indeed, if they were waste ballots, why were they not destroyed at the time that other waste ballots and plates were destroyed? If they were waste ballots, why were they parceled and concealed in a different room and the agents were never informed? So you see, consistently, you recall when this process started, a similar thing occurred at the Assembly Press, and we went there. Instantly, at that time, they apologized. Subsequently, they came out and then tried to create the impression to the public that what we were saying was not true. I can give you copious examples. And yet these same people will get up and raise their hands before God. Is not mocked. We don't joke with God like that. And the Bible that we read talks about lies, continuous lies, and where their source is. John 8:44 says, "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks of his own, for he is a liar and the father of all lies." So anybody who lies consistently is not of God. Doesn't matter how much you say it and somersault. Consistent, a pattern of lies. When you write your own document, which is like your Bible and Quran, slide 27, you say, we are going to use the old card, we are going to depend on the data, and then all of a sudden you change your mind without any reasonable explanation. You don't want us to take you serious. Now, we also have a situation where, as we speak now, we have a register we are going into an election with. There are missing names on the register, and there are also extra names. It's never happened before. Never, ever in the history of this country. The confusion surrounding the final register for the 2020 elections is a major cause for concern. The EC claims that some prospective voters cannot be found in their database, so the list has been provided at affected polling stations. Some persons who challenged their inclusion on the multiple voters registration list were also successful and therefore had to be included in the list of missing names. All this should have been done before the final register. So you see, when we were questioning about time. So now you had a final register. Now these things have come in. Now you have to do an extra register with extra time. I don't understand. The implication is that all these people cannot be verified through the biometric system and therefore have to be verified manually, in addition to those who cannot be verified through the biometric system or facial recognition. So the very essence, you will recall that one of the key arguments the EC raised in favor of the compilation of a new register was that we had about 0.4% of the people who were verified manually. And because of that, we needed a new register at around $40 million. Now, you've gotten the new register, and you are creating a situation where you're going to have even more people who will be manually verified than before. Our intelligence suggests that this system deficiency can be deliberately exploited to facilitate multiple voting. The scheme we have uncovered is that some party supporters will be given some unique identification, such as wristbands, long sleeves. Such persons on arrival at polling stations will be issued multiple ballots to engage in multiple voting. Some of these persons will move from one polling station to another to engage in multiple voting. We are calling on the general public to be vigilant at polling stations and look out for such characters and report them to the police. We hereby serve notice to persons who will be engaged in multiple voting that it is a criminal offense which is punishable by law, and we shall make sure that they are prosecuted come January 7, 2021. These developments also have a potential to create confusion during ballot accounting. We hereby inform the people of Ghana that if there is any confusion in the election caused by neglect or failure to take proactive action based on all the things that we have said, Madam J. Mensah, Dr. Boss Manasari, Mr. Samuel Tete, Mr. Shrebo Kweku, Mr. Santikisi, these are the frontline people who are engaged in all these activities. They will be held responsible. Conspiracy to manipulate elections is tantamount to a high crime of subverting the Constitution and the will of the people. These people must be reminded that there is no limitation period for the prosecution of criminal offenses, and they can be prosecuted at any time while they are alive. Their family and friends should advise them. They should just do the right thing, period. Just follow the law. Be fair. Be impartial. If you are impartial, everybody will know you are impartial. If you are fair, everybody will know you are fair. You follow the law, everybody will know you follow the law. There's no problem. We don't want any favors from anybody. We've also had cause to caution the EC against the hasty declaration of election results. It is proper that as the returning officer for the presidential elections, Madam J. Mensah should take her time to certify results from all the 275 constituencies before declaration of results, not 16 regions alone. You have to see every result in the same way that a presiding officer in the constituency has to see the results from every polling station and check before declaring same. In the same way, the returning officer for the presidential must see every result from 275 constituencies, satisfy herself that everything is in order before making a public pronouncement. That has the potential of undermining the security of the state. It's not something to be taken lightly, that anybody can come on air within 24 hours. We're not joking with the destiny of this country. These are serious matters. Again, can the EC confirm or deny that it has outsourced the collation of results to one Kingsford Boateng who works with Vodafone? If this is true, the EC should advise itself and rescind that decision immediately, as this is unconstitutional. Information available to us suggests that the EC is conniving with some elements to hastily declare results and then lock down the country thereafter and then tell us to go to courts. The courts on that day will be the polling station. The votes that are cast and declared at the polling station are the votes that we expect to reflect in whatever final results that will be given out. That will be the court. We wish to serve notice that we shall not accept the declaration of inaccurate results. With many Ghanaians supporting us, we shall deploy all legitimate means to ensure that the EC declares only accurate results. We are very clear in our minds. The results that we all will be there. We get the figure from the polling station to the constituency For example, Accra is going to fall. Many of the MPs will lose their seats. It will be so clear. Everybody knows. You have the results. And then it is those same results that must reflect at the final. We don't want any hanky-panky business. And we are happy that in addition to our own collation system, many independent organizations such as the CODEO and various media houses will also be collating results, which will serve as a check on the EC. So nobody should think that they can go and sit somewhere and just present any results and say, we are the EC, so this is our results. It doesn't work that way. We'll all be at the various polling stations. We'll all know what happened at the polling stations. We'll all be at the constituency collation centers. We all know what figures are there, and we expect the same to reflect at the region and the national. Nothing short of that. Irregular vote transfers. We have discovered that some votes have been transferred to various polling stations without knowledge of affected persons. Vote transfers are based on applications. It is only upon such requests that the EC transfer votes. The transfer of votes to polling stations without the knowledge of affected persons therefore gives us cause for concern about what may have occasioned that. This development has a potential of disenfranchising people and causing chaos on election day. Again, it has come to our notice that the EC is creating polling stations in police training schools without prior notice to political parties. This has come as a surprise to us since polling stations have already been gazetted. Every polling station is gazetted by law. So the EC has to abandon those plans because police recruits can visit whichever polling station that they registered at and vote without any difficulty. In any case, there was opportunity for vote transfer for students, which the EC should have utilized for this purpose. So any polling station that is not gazetted is illegal. Now, stakeholders agreed that instead of printing of excess ballot papers, larger denominations can be used to replace shortages and vice versa. Unfortunately, we are talking about the ballot booklets. You know, we have them in different denominations. Unfortunately, the EC has authorized the printing of excess ballot papers for some constituencies. For instance, in Accra, Greater Accra, a total of 72,000 excess presidential papers have been printed for 30 out of 34 constituencies. Some 9,250 excess parliamentary papers have also been printed. The EC is printing additional 140,505 ballot papers in 30 constituencies in Greater Accra alone. This is dangerous, as it may lead to ballot stuffing. We are calling on the EC to destroy all such excess ballot papers, as agreed at the last IPAC meeting. So this is how it works. Because you have different denominations, 100, 50, 25, 10, and because the numbers on the polling stations are not the same. So if you recall, when the printing started, we insisted that the 5% extra should be based on polling station. Remember that argument? And they didn't listen, as usual. So they decided to do it across board, 5% across board. Now, after doing the 5%, when you now take the ballots to the regions, you see that there will be shortages here and there, a little here, a little there. If you put all those things together, you realize that there are challenges. So we said, okay, where we realize that there are those shortages, if we want to print extra, let's retrieve what is already in the system, that we can print extra. They have not retrieved what is in the system, and they are insisting on printing extra. So if you saw the last time at one of the printing houses that our people were there, and that was the reason. Again, our people have been very, very, very vigilant, and I think they deserve a round of applause. And they will continue to be vigilant. Mr. Sani, of his team, they are vigilant. Agbesi, all of them, Amate, the team, very, very, very vigilant. And I think that we need to urge them on. And then another issue is that, as we speak now, the statement of poll, the pink sheet, that they have printed is illegal because it doesn't conform to CI 127. We caution the EC of our attempts to use an illegal results collation sheet contrary to Regulation 37 of CI 127. The new statement of poll is designed to capture only persons verified manually and will not capture the number of persons verified with a biometric device. This is illegal. We therefore ask the EC to rectify the situation before December 7th. Because the statement of poll must be able to let you know those who have been verified manually and by the device. Now, because of those so-called extra names outside the register, they've adjusted the statement of poll to reflect those extra names. What about the rest? Then we also got an audio. Do we have the audio set? By an official to render the ballot papers of persons who vote for John Mahama invalid. And I'm sure most of you have heard that audio, where a person purportedly an EC official was saying how they should stamp a place on the ballot paper so that it will reflect, if somebody votes for number 2, JM, it will look as if it's double voting, then it will be rejected.
Don't worry, I will go to work. So you go and
I think what we can do is to share. And most of them have it, right? So you see, these are the kinds of things that they are planning, but they will fail. They have failed already. Whatever they do will be exposed. Another issue of concern to us is about security in the Volta region in the upcoming elections. We are receiving reports of arrests and intimidation of innocent citizens under the guise of the government-sponsored Western Togoland Group. Today, there are several intimidating military barriers in the region. We are aware of government plans to use the same group to cause disturbances in the region between tomorrow and voting day as a justification for voter suppression and possible disruption of elections in the region. We are cautioning government to abandon such plans as the consequences will be disastrous. We wish to encourage the people of the Volta region to remain fearless throughout the electioneering period. Security personnel who will be deployed for election duties are supposed to protect the ballot and ensure peace and not to harm you. In addition, we call on all Christians, Muslims, traditionalists, and believers in other religions in the Volta region to pray against any such disturbances during the elections. Remember the history of bravery and fearlessness in Mochi. How our ancestors, through wit and wisdom, escaped the autocratic leadership of King Agokoli of Nochie in Benin. It is with this great wisdom that the people of the Volta region must work to escape the dictatorship, wickedness, and corruption of Akufo-Addo, who is the present-day King Agokoli. We call on the good people of Ghana to fearlessly come out in their numbers to vote out the mother serpent of corruption, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Mianovi vote at all. Afia miedofia ejaba mi anyaba jidudu ya obla de miawu enu oji mfia kata majokpo Amona no papa ma wako tu pleto avano fudam now ola mo ola de kakvio enwie na naga unchi fafa na va vota doa menyaba mia dako mia nya jujudia bla chiklinyo mia nyao wa igbama ta micho nyonu micho nchuo micho de kakvio micho madakama gavon soja lo police adako soja club police la fama nu kwari soja club police wa o glona mi ba yo pokpoga ba nu vuna adakama jore mi ajo ta micho mi ado ya ba dako mi adako nwi ame yo le koji ame yo le chikoma mi yamu wa dako mi aton anya a chigli nya wa igbama. Now, low morale in the Ghana Armed Forces. We are aware of the low morale in the Ghana Armed Forces as a result of complicity by some senior officers over acts of injustice and ill treatment. We wish to assure all ranks in the Army that President Mahama will work hard to restore the discipline, order, and dignity in the Army come January 7, 2021. We wish to encourage officers who will be deployed on election duties to stay true to the Constitution by cracking down hoodlums who will be deployed during elections in uniform. Such characters are given the otherwise well-respected security agencies a bad name. It is the duty of officers to rise up to the occasion by restoring the dignity of their respected profession. History will be on the side of officers who do this. We have heard that there's been some mass promotions in the police service. The police people, they deserve it. But they're also very, very intelligent. You've been in the service for 4 years. You've asked for promotion. Some have gone to do courses and all that. People have been denied promotion. People have been mistreated, tribalistic promotion, nepotistic promotion and all that. Then a few days to election, you rush and do promotion, and you think that they don't see through. When we come, we will give them better and real lasting promotion. And as for the money you are putting into the accounts, they are Ghanaians. You have gone to collect COVID money, how many? 1 billion. And you are eating the dollar, $1 billion. So if you give poor policemen thousand, even 1,000 to cry is small. They should have given them dollars. You've gone to collect $1 billion. And you and your family and friends, you've shared it among yourselves. And at the last minute, you are dropping 1,000 in the account. And you think that they won't think? It's an insult. So they should collect that money and eat it. So the next people who are going to have money appear in the accounts are teachers. So teachers, get ready. You've gotten it? Thought. Charlie, chopo. By the end of the day, you are looking at 4 years. The next 4 years, can that money sustain you? That is what is important. So the money there, they should bring it back. Yes, for chopper. Then we've had this unfortunate issue of disenfranchising persons without nose marks at polling stations. In our view, we think it's unconstitutional. We found it awful that the EC turned away persons without nose marks at polling stations in the special voting. The EC further defended their action in media interviews, saying everyone is enjoined to wear nose masks. This singular act is not only unconstitutional but ridiculous. What is more disturbing is that Parliament approved a budget to the EC to procure nose masks for persons who may show up without them, so that they will not be disenfranchised. It is therefore strange that the EC will turn around to prevent such persons from voting. Sorry, please. They chop them. No, that won't be normal. That's their character. We wish to caution the EC against this practice. On December 7th, the EC must make provision for nose masks at polling stations for persons who may not have. We are calling on the electorate who may not have nose masks to improvise by using any piece of cloth or handkerchief to cover their nose. What is a nose mask? Eh? Cover your nose. No, so you don't have. Look for handkerchief. Look for any cloth. This is nose mask. This is a nose mask. So it's a nose mask. Nose mask. We should not allow this desperate government under the guise of nose masks. When the COVID was at its peak, and we advised them, don't do mass registration. They say, oh, you went ahead. That one, it was in your interest. Now that people are going to vote, and you know in some areas they will vote against you, you want to use nose mask. Cover your nose and go and vote. The women who have Mayafi, wait. Mayafi, when you cover your nose, every covering is a covering. All cover be cover. So use your scarves or Mayafi to cover your nose. Nationals should discourage us from voting this failed and corrupt mother serpent of corruption. I mean, the whole prospect of when I hear the form, I say, not even 4 hours. Now, there 4 days. Then this directive is illegal and infringes on the rights of voters. We know that the EC rationalized this illegal directive by explaining that they don't want voters to take pictures of persons they vote for because that will compromise the secrecy of their votes. However, this development happens during party primaries. In any case, what is the legal basis? The CI 127 is there. Where? Those who are lawyers, or election experts. Where is there any place in CI 127? It's illegal. You can make a moral case. Do you understand me? But you cannot enforce it under law. It's an illegality. It's not right. So they don't have the right at all. So we call on voters. You don't have to take your picture of your photo. But around, within the vicinity, take the picture. We'll give you a number. Send it to us. Take pictures, take videos, evidence. Those who are misbehaving, we need that evidence. Enough of it that people do all kinds of nonsense and get away with it. We have local observers, we have international observers, there are satellites monitoring everything. You will be misbehaving in one village before you realize you are on CNN. So everybody will see your foolishness. So take pictures, take videos, monitor everything. Nobody should stop it. There is no law anywhere. So everybody should be vigilant. Now, we have a message to presiding officials and temporary EC staff at the various polling stations. You are privileged to have been selected to assist in the conduct of this year's elections. Ghanaians are therefore looking up to you to do your work fairly and conscientiously. Remember that there were many people, or there are many people who could have been appointed, but you have had that privilege and opportunities, an opportunity to serve your country. But remember that electoral offenses are punishable by law, and anyone found engaging in them in such malpractice will be sanctioned accordingly. If you collude to cheat in these elections, it amounts to subversion of the sovereign will of Ghanaians and the Constitution, and this constitutes the highest crime of treason. We in NDC are not asking for any favors. We believe that if you do your work well, genuinely, sincerely, fairly, objectively, diligently, and conscientiously, the NDC will win the elections. Whichever way it is, we must work to ensure that only the will of the people prevail. Just be fair and be assured you are being watched. Those who attended the meeting at Peduase in the night, when the president is collecting money like a goalkeeper. And the videos are out. Then you think that you go to some meeting somewhere and there will be no evidence. So whatever anybody has gone to collect, just do the right thing and be fair. Because coming events, they say, cast their shadow. To conclude, we are reminding the Electoral Commission, and especially we are saying, Madam Jemensa, Madam Bosmanasari, Mr. Samuel Tete, Dr. Shribo Koku, Mr. Asante Kisi, you are the frontline people in this whole activities. And so make sure that you do the right thing. Posterity will judge you. But if you connive to subvert the will of Ghanaians through any manipulation or schemes, it will not be in your interest. We thank the good people of Ghana for their support so far. We are particularly grateful to those who continue to share vital information with us on what is going on in their communities. We also wish to encourage them to continue to do so. If you see anything suspicious, record, take pictures and videos and share with us. And the numbers to send are: one is 024-623-1930. The other one is 054-035-4492. The third one is 0249-814353. So let me take the numbers again. These three numbers: 024-623-1930, 054-035-4492, and then 024-981-4353. Our vigilance has resulted in our ability to uncover and expose all the evil agenda of the enemy so far. It is this same vigilance that we need from each and every Ghanaian between now and Monday, and the elections are over. There is only one thing. We in NDC are convinced that victory is assured. But, the only way to secure that victory is nothing else but vigilance. Vigilance, 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 vigilance to the last minute. If you like, you can make a song. When you wake up, vigilance. Afternoon, vigilance. Evening, vigilance. In the night, vigilance. When you dream, vigilance. Eating, vigilance. Drinking, vigilance, vigilance. That's vigilance. Open your eyes, your ears, sharp on the lookout. If we do that, they will try everything and they will not succeed. We wish to assure our supporters and the people of Ghana that the NDC is well prepared for the elections and to form a new government come January 7, 2021, under the able leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And with this, we are assured that we are on course. Honorable Elvis will come back with a very short summary in the Akan language. Very short summary. But before he comes, if there's any questions from the presentation, strictly from the media, if there's any question, we can... I would encourage that we don't cross the cameras because we are live on air. And if there's any question, we can pick, yes, GH1. Please kindly come here so that the cameras can capture you and then the question. Okay, so you can hand over. So kindly identify yourself and then. Okay, your question.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Joshua.
Joshua, before you continue, if there's any other question, kindly move to my right so that we'll just pass it on. Joshua GH1, yes. Okay.
Thank you very much. I have two questions to ask. The first one has to do with the 24-hour declaration that the Electoral Commission indicated. In the previous, or the very last conference with us, they explained that it is not going to be anything different from what has been the normal procedure. Okay. However, this time around, they have trained officials who are going to collate the data from the respective constituencies. So the Electoral Commissioner will not be announcing results from constituencies. However, he will make the final one. So the officials that are positioned to collect the data are more than the usual number. I want to find out from the NDC if with this explanation, and let me just add this, that they indicated, but I asked the question how many people that is, and they said, and I'm quoting, that should all things be equal, they expect to declare the results within 24 hours. Now, my question to the NDC is that with this premise on your explanation, do you think that still the 24-hour declaration is feasible and has any other implication? My second question would be the fact that most of these intel that you did gather, at any point in time, did you involve the police with regard to some of these intel? What has been the response?
Thank you very much. Any other? Okay, so I presume we are just going to have two questions. Before Honorable Elvis comes to answer this and also to do the presentation in the Akan language, let me emphasize on what Honorable Elvis said. Disenfranchising persons without nose mask at polling station is unconstitutional. You can't disqualify anybody from voting because the person does not have a nose mask. Thank you. So, Honorable Elvis.
Yeah, thank you very much, Joshua. When the premise of something is shaky, no matter what you do, it still remains shaky. First of all, the EC has been consistently inconsistent. You recall that earlier they had announced to the public that they were going to declare the results by the 10th. Nobody asked them anything. Nobody, And then they came back and said they were going to do electronic transmission. You remember that? Where is Joshua? You remember that? And then subsequently, out of their own volition again, they now come and say 24. So of these three, which one should we take? That's the first point. The second point is that anybody who is familiar with our electoral processes will tell you that when you come out and tell yourself that you're going to declare results in 24 hours, you're putting yourself under unnecessary pressure. Pressure, there's tension, there's pressure, there's suspicion. So any emotionally stable, reasonable and mature and experienced person who understands the dynamics of elections and election management, the politics of it, the psychology of it, the HR or the security aspect of it, would be very foolish to put yourself in that situation that I'm going to declare results in 24/7. Whether you premise with all things, the all things being equal was an afterthought when they got the bashing. Now I'll give you practical scenarios why it's going to be very difficult for them. And some of your colleagues after this issue said, when they asked them, they said, like I said, they've trained people, they have motorbikes, they have vehicles, they have canoes, right? They told you that, right? They have canoes and they have helicopters. So in the outlandish areas, they will just fly the results. Okay. Again, it shows a lack of understanding of how the system works. So let's say we have 275 constituencies. By 20th hour, you have about 194. In the rest, you have various issues. Recount. You know what it means to recount a whole constituency? Or recollate. polling station by polling station. These are the things that takes days, hours. So you may have 198 results, 194 results, 200 results, but those critical 40, 50, 60, 70 results, you don't have them yet. To have results, it means that results that have been checked and authenticated, right, and certified, not provisional. You've gone through all, you're sure. Before you can then make that determination. So if you don't have them, what will you do? Are you just going to take the raw results that you have not checked because you yourself have given yourself an unrealistic target of 24 hours just to satisfy your whims and caprices or to satisfy you? So we must tell them it's an irresponsible statement that they made. It's as simple as that. Right. So we are ready to collaborate with all the security agencies. In the case of InnoLink, because we realize that the motive, you see the link. There's a link between the ability of people having the ballot papers, and when that ballot paper then gets out, it then facilitates the process where people can now do double multiple voting. So our primary aim was get the ballot papers destroyed, first of all, because we have to be realistic. You are not in power. You are not the government. They control the arms of state. If cocaine can vanish, turn it to coconte, and you have evidence, and you have the opportunity to destroy that evidence first of all, with evidence. You are destroying evidence with evidence, because there's a certificate, there's video. I will go for that as a first step, because then the opportunity for that document to be used for anything nefarious no longer exists, or you would have minimized it. Then you can now look at other things. So that has been our approach. It doesn't mean that that matter will not be pursued subsequently. Okay. Right. So it makes me a tree. It's a framework bahana, and now no yakotuaba yasra for a friend special voting. Niama baku mienu bi betoja na enu eche no electoral commission ebe kan se bi omo abo mo yie pa ma abato no enti ye frɛ mo na eniema bi e call so ena no branda abato no eni niema bi a ye fo se ye yamfa antudwa na antrenchen ebe ha ya abato mu nsɛm no eno nkomo na ye ne mo bi di dene na edi kan branda no abana ye to ye no ye hu se asrafo ni bebre police for soldier for immigration for dodo na so omo di omudin koma omo mpani for se inform ka special voting no enso kodru so no omo koya omudin ni special voting list so I know Ghana have a bia me ankasa minya cause bebre I wo list because say omo ya asrafo nti ana yem pese de omudin ebetudwa ba bia bebre asrafo no se omo de omudin ekoye enso omudin amba special voting nti omo ntimi anto aba na ne nsunsan so ne se eba ne sa ne nti a ye mo to aba ansa na ye abato da na du ne se abato da na ya somo mo so mo nkɔbɔ ɔman no ho ban enti ɔmbɛkɔ ba bia na enye hɔ na ɔmo twuru ɔmudin enti na nka ɔso ɔmo to aba ansa na abato da na du so na sɛ wanfa ne din anka eyi list no na wantimi anto aba na wo soma no kɔ ba bia ɔhɔ no ntimi nto aba no ɔbɛ ne no ato aba abato also ye constitution mu na inalienable human right na said yes so e was otimi eto aba meanwhile ode ne din koy a moyi na free mu na krofo a sabio bi ye MPP for parliamentary candidates omo wo special voting list no so na omo ya asrafo nka wo se eto aba omo to aba sada no omo de omo ni so ntie ade eheye ye bompa ye se abato da ne bedru no 7th juada ebe no enkoba ne se ebe no oyakɔ se yakɔ hwɛ yedin a ye hu yedin ɛwɔ list no se ne ka be den pa o memu ha because special voting no kakra bi na ndo po na amanfo asrafo sebio I bu ye hu dia na main register main voting so ni anything afei ye to saba ni wie na afei ye tete nsemu bi ebinom ekeka so aba no kra ye to ye no aba ne edi nkunim a chese nkofo friend yes special voting there ye wi aye nkan yo ye wi aye sili ni nyina na de akwakogu ayi guard room police amre enti 7th no ye to aba ne de no aka won na akan na se pa se ye kan dia ye nim se de na na do dan kwakufu ado one na ban na busua ne na ban treaty ye soldier for ne astra for police for na kan bruce no ya bobo mo ani so ene tutu asem asa nkola national security for ya omo de nim guase ebre the regular military and police no eminya so say military police omenya 20% to cry omo 20 ya even though omo the sika mo in the account no so bi omo ni da ho omo nim se e ya ba 20 no peso omo ye omo sa na omo wi a afi ye to ma omo wi a na afi captain na omo ya da omo yi omo afrim omo ya we nti omo so omo adwen da ho nti enya de omo to amom nti ya ntro ena no so mo be kai a ye ko hu se na Ashanti regional ballot papers bi e one of the printing presses na parties no enim ho hwe ene no yakoye na yakoshe sa papers no ya hye wie di asemi to dwa mi wa yakoshe ECG to mo se ade na enye adepa ya hye wie ya ma babonte wa beka so ne ane ye ka na enye nokre na eye normal procedure ena ye kire se enye sa na tie if say ye print ni wie ya hye niam ya de kwa Ashanti region ye nyina ye san krata se ye wie wa ne ye ka ye nyina ye nim ye hye ye ne wo se ye hye ne wo se ye hye de ye hye de nyina ne ye ho krata na ye call ye no na sin to be bar one of the constituencies any the bar back here ba BCC ho ne hu se sa na ye nyina ya gi atom se ya hye bibia se bibia no na omo de bi egudam a ye agency ni nim hu bi eno ne asem no eni ebisa omo ye bisa no first omo so omo pacho na ebi omo re ne fie ne se mo re ade putu esi opposite me na mo re fi ena maame o so oja no for ebi ana run of aba Mr. Moa ya mo de ne ma no mo ko school yo oso ko school half unnim say run off no between two presidents I will just say two abewi ansa na run off unni right say over reserve ballot papers candidates be edu was so say for run off ensema oka ene ye hye no ye hye wie ya afa de isi abasa o ne aye kan na enye no kra ne wan na enye no kra isi nkan no kra enkrofo din asa ye no kase enkrofo din ni register no so this is the first time e wa bato abakosemu a ye kwakoto aba ye main register ho aya printed dia man ene asan ye say SS register say team B register ene no so ho e bi nsida ena ekwan omo fa so a omo de ye no wan hwe yi a e den sempi baba na de ba ko twitru pa e kire adwen so ene sa resource na je mensa ne ni isi say on be declare in 24 hours obi a onima bato mu ne ekwan ye fa so ansana especially presidential ballot no obi aka say ye declare no obi hu say sa de no mo ye na de assembly ba say no crepa say ye manual verification no mo ya because omo na ba bontin be ka say on be electronic verification electronic transfer of votes after transmission of votes after we chom so after do omo nye biom after we 24 hours enti ne wan ne wan enti yempe basabaso ya ne ye penny nukra votes accurate votes are yenyaye e wo polling station eno aye kan ye collation center ne akwa sese eno ne declare a collation center from collation center constituency na akwa region that same vote no ensesa enti the same votes no from polling station to constituency to region eno na was reflected obi odi kululu vote bia be ye ne bi di nyonyonyo pa o memu ha ena ya tse omo person be polling stations or training schools police training schools and itiamra because baby I beto baby ano wo mrem gazette enti police training school no enye gazette ena fei ekwan omo faso a omo print extra ballot papers no omo sha say catch omo so mo ye ne sa e de assembly ba ye nye no 5% no per polling station and unim say edu na de be kan na de du aka ho Omontie, afe, Omokoye, no person, and afe akochiro so, and I ABC basa. As I say, Oma print more than needed. It is a high near, sa extra balance, especially Greater Accra. Now, a very strange, so sharp. Some of the constituencies, no areas are omo anya de no. A horno na just omo printed are excess no. Chelsea in a high yani. Pink sheet to cry, your statement of poor no crano, and no pressing to because a manner tresse, I was a pink sheet, the timiche, the padudu omo verify omo manually, and then omo machine it to me verify omo. Omo anya sa, meanwhile, a man see I know extra said the pink sheet no, I was set here. And your core iPad, on your cassette, more mere sano, and now me no cassette, up to no munyan sano. Yeah, train said, or was almost a son before I ever got to Abba. Sabaya, pink sheet in the bit me a chain, Padua, on bet to Abba, using the machine, and in the Padua on bet to Abba, using the manual system. And I feel your ball audio be now, AC penny be planning, and you may be aware. Now, Chichu Pane, a voter region, and Yama ACC or her, ya bronco for ya chinko for dear soldier for Gugu Hobibria. Just say, a person shom so, Sabe omon twaba. And no near catch on say, Omon kai, Omo abacosum, say maybe a trail muna, Omo Henibia, or Colibia, and it's more new Benin. Omo the Yansa, any akukudro, any Johnny free hall, a buy. That's the say no, I got calling no, and an akufuado, on only new I got calling. And also be a omunino, Omo a sorry waka. Mranti member penifu be sorry waka empire bo ahodo now bia make sure say near ebetimi dia asomdue aba from them and say aban we e be pam no oso no nonsanko room a ebenya aban a owa abadoye magana fo nyina aban a ono won ka say wo de ufi voter wo ye togoni o wi awasan kwa kugina wo say man form mo na ne wo kra no so otoma na ne wa wo jejireje eti and I feel almost say me and fa uni nose maxa ma untimi enkoto aba ye ba be ye registration etwa sikapudo e de ma easy so mo fanye nose max ya parliament am mo scan wen emra constitution right to vote no e constitutional bibie ni we si obi akwan so untimi nto aba. It is a nose mask no more pa. Nose mask brofum ade a de kata ya hwene. Enti ade a de kata ya hwene no, utimi fa o handkerchief, uduku, o mayafi, akoto aba na de kata ya hwene. Eno ano no, we nose mask. Enye ne abroni ye nkwa na nose mask. We qualify for nose mask. Enti obi ani ho kwan se obesi obi kwan se mo ntro ni din, mo nkoto aba because onkra mask. To be a bit me a man of my feet, handkerchief, duku, bibia, na ya kwa no. And I feel almost I said, Mobi and fact, a mobile phone, and police station, any rebium. Because the electoral commission, bibia baby, and I was say, in Ninya saw Emra. Emrana a CY I 127. Baby, any constitution, man, I see I 127, I just went to me, and you sue mobile phone. You bet me my photo and we here say uko to aba no etwa photo and we here and no near moral persuasion but say wa wo kra wo phone na wakoto aba we na ogina baby na to try say because we no etwa e was so twa photo no etwa video no send no bi ehun ebi be kosi na ebi be ko Aljazeera ebi be kosi ai KGB FBI omote ya na aba be tam omo de omoko enti ye kasa so chair presiding officials no ne EC staff aya form in himself dodo na no omo ye no krafo omo de omba e pa na omo anya no mudie ba binom so oya wa dwen say o de ya de bibia ma o enti wo be ya ade de tia mra o ya ade abato ye word kam amamu no abato no e ye kronkron e ye democrat ne fapem no e abato enti wo ye bibi de tia abato a e ye tantamount say wa ye ku ja wo se mra ne ni odi enti yen kasa munye bibi mfa mo ya dabi munni no kre mo ye referee munyina ntam mo nhwe se bibi abekoso jojo mamo ne nkofo bi omo kokko meeting wo pedua ase no mu nsu enyansa na mo am president kra e kwaje bribe to say goalkeeper ye nya no video so na wo enti enuanom We need to cry what the mamo for the meantime. And I'm a okay.
All right, thank you very much. So this brings us to the end of today's press conference. Thanks so much for your time. And with this, I think that the training will just move on. Honorable Elvis, or the training will continue here. All right, sure. Thank you very much. So the media can now.
The WhatsApp, the numbers we give there just for WhatsApp.
Okay.
Pictures and videos.
All right. So the 3 numbers is strictly for WhatsApp. Every scene at every polling station can be WhatsApped to this number, not for calls, because the constituencies are going to create call centers. So these are just for WhatsApps. Thank you very much. So the media can excuse us. You can be in my office on the next floor. Okay, so you can capture the numbers on the screen.
Show the video.
Okay. I think they finished that.
Your Excellency, there is something small for 40,000 pounds. Your Excellency, there is something small for 40,000 pounds.
Hello, my sisters, my brothers, and my fellow Ghanaians. Make no mistake, this is not an ordinary election. This election is about Ghana's destiny. We either stay on the current path, enlarging the gap between the rich and the poor, between men and women, or we take bold and transformational steps to make Ghana an advanced, prosperous, and fair country in the shortest possible time. Just ask yourselves, can you afford to let your loved ones stay 4 more years without access to free, quality primary health care? Can you afford to let your loved ones stay 4 more years without a 24-hour, 3-shift economy that will create sustainable and decent jobs that will provide them employment? Can you afford to stay for 4 more years without real access to equal opportunities? Can you afford to let our young men and women remain 4 more years without access to modern digital skills that will transform our economy, make some of them their own business owners, and improve their lives forever? The answer is definitely no. The answer is change starts now. Don't stand aside. Don't look the other way. On December 7th, it is about our destiny. On December 7th, it is about our loved ones. It is a month to election day. Be ready and vote for change.